Hello and welcome to another video from Aiyana and Ayize. That's my husband, my other half. But I'm flying solo today. And I'm flying solo. Look, I said I'm going to do this video really quickly. This is a long overdue video. But I'm getting this question more and more very regularly. It's one of the first questions that I get from folks when they join our team. And so I said, you know what? I need to go ahead and do a video on this because I'm going to start just sending this to folks so that they can focus in and already have the answer before they ask the question. So this is really relevant for those who are just joining, have just come on and been introduced to Empower Network and are now part of our team, Teammate to Manifest. Or if you've been a member for a little bit and you haven't really been, really doing it. You hadn't really gotten started yet. And you're really deciding now, I'm going to get focused. I'm going to get started. I want to be able to do what I came to do online. I want to make some money. I want to, develop a blog and really, really have some influence. And amazingly, one of the first things that people ask, maybe I shouldn't say amazingly, but it's just amazing to me how consistent this question is. It comes all the time. One of the first questions that people ask is, how do I know what to talk about? Then that's often followed by, I really don't know what to talk about. A few days may go by and then I'm really, really struggling with what to talk about. I've already talked about this and this and this, and I don't really know what to talk about. How do you come up with a topic every single day? You're saying that we need to blog daily. How in the world do you come up with a topic every single day to talk about and to make sure that it's worthwhile, it's worth people's reading it, it's worth people listening to you on the video or whatever it is, whatever the medium is you're going to be delivering that in? This is why it is important. Some have heard me say it before, and I'm going to say it again. This is why it is important to have a niche. 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 The very first time I heard this some years ago, I heard the phrase, the riches are in the niches. The riches are in the niches because it's the people who are focusing on, with a laser focus, a particular area, a particular topic, a specific issue, a prominent cause, a particular passion. It is the people who are doing that who are going to find other people who also resonate around that particular issue or cause or subject. It don't gotta be deep. Don't get it twisted. It ain't gotta be life-changing, but it has to be very, very, very focused. Then find, she's talking about what it is that I'm interested in. Oh, he follows and focuses on what it is I want to learn more about. So when they think about getting online and wanting to get some more information about that particular subject matter, they think of you. They don't need to Google because they know that's exactly what you talk about. And so it's important to develop a niche because it eliminates the I don't know what to talk about disease. It really does. It eliminates that because the question is now not what is it that I talk about? What should I focus on today? The question is, does this particular thing I'm thinking about talking about, does this particular thing fit in with my niche subject, right? Does this fit in with my subject matter? Because this is my subject matter. So for those who have followed myself and my husband for some time, you should already know our niche. You know it, right? You don't have to think about it. People should be able to associate you with a niche. And our niche is very clearly that we have been in the area of couples and relationships and marriage and love and family dynamics and helping people to push through the problems. And then out of that, we have also developed the niche of being able to help people do what it is they come to do online, to leverage the internet space, to be able to lift up whatever it is they bring professionally, whatever it is they bring passionately to the online space. Those are our niches. Boom. Yeah, that's it. And people don't have to think twice about it because we don't come talking about every single thing under the sun. That is what we come to talk about. And usually, no matter what we're talking about, whether it's in the relationship, couples, love, family, dynamic kind of zone, or if it's in the, what is your passion, purpose? How are you going to use it on the blog? How are you going to leverage the internet to get out your business or your brand? Whatever it is we're talking about in those two niches, it is under the framework of personal development. We're often pushing people to be able to stretch themselves, and people are very clear about that. So you that it's not pausing. So and so's website. You should go to their blog because they talk about that all the time. They've got a lot of good articles, a lot of good videos about that, whatever the case may be. So they begin to refer you and they begin to associate you with that. And they don't come to you for anything but that. And that's what you want because that's how you start to gain more traffic. That's how you start to gain more influence. That's how you start to gain more leverage because people are clear about what you're bringing and they start to tell other people. So you got to find a niche, okay? You got to find a niche. You got to find a niche because when you're talking about a whole bunch of stuff, to a whole bunch of people, you really ain't talking to nobody about nothing. And one of the things that I find is that when people start to understand this whole piece of needing to have a niche and they're starting to carve that out, they're figuring that out and they're trying to move forward with that and do that, I find that then they get into this other zone that I got to get folks out of. They get into this other zone. Y'all want to know what that other zone is? This other zone is this place of being wishy-washy. I call them wishy-washy bloggers, right? Wishy-washy people. You can't be passionate and wishy-washy. You can't be clear and focused and wishy-washy. You certainly can't have a vision and be wishy-washy. You see, those things don't even go together, do they? So here's what you want to do to make sure that you're not being wishy-washy. Make sure that you're not so fearful of excluding people. You're not so fearful of all the people who maybe they would want to come and hear what you have to say, and they might not come if I say it like this. If I really give my opinion about this in this way, people might not really come. Some people might, but then I might exclude a whole bunch of other people. You can't do that. You've got to be able to come from a place of authenticity. You've got to be able to be yourself and be able to express what it is that you need to express in the way that it comes to you. Because those people who are meant for you and your voice and your blog and your circle and your tribe will then be attracted to you because you'll be very clear about it. But when you're not, you're kind of, dancing along the line, you're kind of on the fence. You're not really clear about things. People don't really know how to take you. Where you stand, where you don't stand. What do they say all the time, y'all? If you don't stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything, right? And the other thing is that not only are people fearful of really kind of making a stand and being clear on some issues, so they kind of stay wishy-washy, and that actually brings your blog down. It doesn't attract people to you. It repels people away from you because they're confused about where you are and what you stand on and what you're about, right? Not only do they do that, the other zone is that people they just don't get clear. Okay, you hear what I'm saying? They just don't get clear. You one of these people, you just don't get clear about what your niche is. You just decide, okay, I understand that makes sense, but then you just don't do it. How many times do we get information that is life-shifting, life-changing if you actually apply it, but then you don't do it, right? You just decide, I'm just going to get up every day, you my Frosted Flakes, and I'm going to sit down, I'm going to rap about whatever it is coming in my mind. I'm just going to talk a little bit. Let me talk a taste about this, and let me talk a taste about that. Now, there are people who are opinion givers, right? They are taste makers, right? They are advice givers, right? I'm an advice giver, right? And so they talk about things, and people want to come because they just want to hear them talk about things. But even with that, there is a niche piece about that. For example, when my husband and I answer questions about problems that people are having, we are answering questions of a certain kind, and we're giving a certain kind of advice, a certain brand of advice, right? And you're going to get a certain kind of flow with that. And once you start to follow us and look at how we flow, you're going to know what to expect generally when you come to us, right? You're going to know that our tagline is stop playing, start pushing. So we're going to keep it real with you, right? We're going to put on the table what it is you need to know, not just what it is you want to hear. You know that we will lift up a lot of times the psycho-emotional stuff that is going on, not just the surface stuff, right? So we're not necessarily the people who are going to crack jokes all the time and make things funny, right? That's not what we do, but we will break it down for you. And when you want to come and get a laugh, you're probably not going to come to us. But when you want to come and get some insight, you might come to us, right? So you have to understand that even giving opinions about certain things and even answering questions and that kind of thing, that becomes a brand, that becomes a niche in and of itself if you are focused on a particular area, okay? So don't be wishy-washy. Please don't be wishy-washy. And last but not least, the number one question after I give all this to folks, well then how in the hell do I find my niche? So then how do I do it, Aiyana? You done told me everything not to do. How do I do it? And no matter how many times I say this to folks, people are not satisfied with this answer because it ain't complex. It ain't a book read. You got to read these 5 books to come up with your unique niche, right? You ain't got to meditate 4 hours to figure it out. You ain't got to do some long, complicated math problem to figure it out. All you got to do, listen, all you got to do is figure out what you do best. I'm going to say it again. I know y'all don't believe it. People really don't believe in their own strength. They don't really believe in their own insight. They don't really believe in their own natural given talents. I don't know why this is, but I find that people reject this notion all the time. What is it that you like to talk about? What is it that you like to think about? What is it that you can speak endlessly about? What is it that you can write on and on and on about? It doesn't matter what it is. You can be talking about relationships as my husband and I do. You can be talking about the art of blogging if you've been blogging for a minute and you've got some expertise on that like we do. You can be talking about dogs and breeding. You could be talking about cupcakes and all the different ways to make cupcakes, and you could be talking about baking if that's your thing. You could be talking about knitting. You could be talking about technology. You can be talking about politics. You can be talking about hair. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just what comes to you. What do you do well? What do you really enjoy? What do you like to look up and understand more about? What is it, that when people are in a room and they ask a question or they start a conversation about something, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have something to say on that. And you ain't got to think real hard about it. Whatever that is what you need to blog about. That, my dear, is your niche. Don't doubt it as so many people do. Don't think, that just sounds too simple. Oh, well, that doesn't, nobody wants to talk about that. The internet is for everybody, and there's room for everything. And if you find something that is within you that you can bring to the table, trust me, even if other people are bringing it to the table, ain't nobody bringing it like you gonna bring it. Because y'all ain't gonna bring stuff like I bring stuff. Because my name is Aiyana, and you can't replicate me. I cannot be duplicated, and neither can you. So trust your gut. What is it that you know? That's your niche. It is important because people come not only because of what you talk about, not only because of the subject matter itself, they come because of how you give it. They come because of your flavor with it. They come because it's authentic for you. So you can't try to fake it. You can't try to pick one that's good. You got to do what works for you. This is the importance of having a niche. Again, the riches are in the niches. I hope that this has been of help. Reach out and let me know how it's been for you. See you soon.